Leeds. We know you guys love that. Go on, Theo. Legend. Leader at service crew in the waiting, mate. In the wait. Yeah, man. Hello, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. I am joined by my brothers from another mothers, Darren and Dillo from Onlyleedsbros. Smash a like, subscribe on the video, get over to their channel if you haven't been already. Where have you been at? Because that's where the fun is at.
Good to be back, lads, isn't it?
The final part, the best show on YouTube is what we've conjured up, and yeah, get over them, check them out, and yeah, smash a like on this one, please. So subscriber show, the first one, hopefully the first of many. I'd like to give something back to anyone that likes listening to us waffle on. So
we do waffle on, don't we?
Yeah, we do waffle on, mate. We do usually with a beer, but it's only Dillo with a beer tonight. Me and Darren have.
Oh, you dead nice, throw me right under the bus. Straight under the bus. Now hanging.
Want to be ashamed of yourself? Want to be ashamed of yourself?
Yeah,
right. I don't
we're having a point.
I don't want to peak too early, lads. Tyson's fighting at 1 o'clock. I don't want to peak too early. You've got to try and pace yourself.
What
I thought it was 4 or something.
Oh, don't.
It is.
Oh no.
4 might even. Yeah.
3 o'clock is
It's 4, buddy. Yeah, it's 4.
Wounded.
Cheers.
I should get on that then now, shouldn't I? But yeah, gutted. I've got to sleep, set me alarm then. Anyways, right. So yeah, this one, it's subscriber show. As you know, we're gonna get people in as and when they get in the lobby. 5 to 10 minutes. If it, we don't get many people through the door, we might have people on a bit longer, and we'll see how it goes. It's first one really, innit? So see how it goes, boys. Play, we'll wing it if we need to, but hopefully we get 4 or 5 people.
If we need, do we not do that all the time?
Yeah, we do, mate. We do. Just this
winging this from the start, mate.
Just openly admitting that we just wing it this time rather than just actually winging it. But yeah,
it's good to be back though, lads. Good to see us.
Like I say, international break. It's one of them, isn't it? Like, we don't really care unless it's a tournament, and not being funny. Yeah. You guys don't even care when it's a tournament.
What's a tournament? What's a tournament?
It's something that you qualify. Well, it's something you don't qualify for.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Ireland rugby around tonight. I watched the rugby tonight. That's the only thing we're decent at. I think the only thing the Irish are good at is playing rugby and drinking pints. So anything other than that, we're not great. Bang average.
I'm good at the drinking part.
Getting a few of the chats coming in. Elizabeth, if our last pops up on here, that'll be hilarious, but I'm pretty sure she's just saying hello.
You're just going to say hello, yeah.
Smash a like and subscribe. We've got Sean.
Big up, Danny. You better be on. Oh, there's a sword, lad. Sword.
Yeah, we've got a few in ready. Right, so first one, like I said to you guys, behind the curtain, I've got a lad called Callum, lovely lad. Speaks to me regular on Facebook, on Messenger. He knows his stuff. And he sent me a question today. He couldn't make it tonight, so he just wants to know, once Ampadu, I mean, I don't want to ruin anyone else's questions if they've got something in mind, but that could happen because this is a cracking question. When Ampadu arrives back fully fit, not who does he replace, but can we see a chance of them switching it to a 3 in midfield? A little bit like Southampton played with last year. Do you see, and even if you don't see him doing that personally, do you think there's a case that it could work for Leeds United? I assume it would mean maybe Aronson having to drop out to cut that midfield out with 3. But do you see a world in where that happens? Could you see something good coming out of that, or would you say it's a no-go? What do you think, lads?
I say, it could be good, and we've obviously seen the 4-3-3 was obviously massive a couple of years ago. It's changed up a little bit now. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I just think we might lose a little bit more further forward. I think obviously we know Ampadu is very defensive minded. You've got Rotwell in there who likes to get forward, Tanaka who likes to get forward. It could work if you kind of had 2 of them more advanced, especially in this league. We keep saying there's no reason why Leeds United should have 2 sitting midfielders. So if you did have someone like Ampadu sitting in the hole and you actually gave the license then to Rotwell and Tanaka to get forward, because I think we've spoke about it, we know Rotwell's natural game is to try and get forward, is to be more advanced. He does break up the play, but he will get into the box. We've obviously spoke about that kind of click type of player where he will like to get forward. And we've obviously talked, we haven't seen Tanaka there yet, but we've obviously talked that we think he could do a job further up the pitch as well. It is heavily reliant on the centre forward being good, and he's the vital cog in it. You obviously seen it with the Barcelona teams, with Jurgen Klopp's teams, and it was Firmino, Mane and Salah, how pivotal that Firmino wasn't. That didn't get the credit. It was always the wide lads that were always scoring goals. So to me, you'd have to have something like you'd need to have a really, really strong centre forward, hold the play around the corner.
Yeah.
Probably would suit Matteo Joseph a little bit more than Joe Pirro. Wouldn't really kind of be his game. We've seen it that his touch is not great. Yeah, it's an option. 100%. It's an option. It's something that could work. I don't see why not. But yeah, as I said, the pivotal one for me that would have to be the centre forward. The centre forward would be the vital cog in it. And when you think about it, if you had Ramazani and Nanto on either side of them, absolutely quality, three in the middle of the park, then kind of solidifies it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't mean that we're a little bit more defensive. I'm not too sure. It would also mean Farke would need to let Rotwell and Tanaka go as well. Not have them, like two of them sit too deep and only one of them get forward. If you kind of let them, give them the license to get forward, it definitely something that could work. Yeah.
No, I agree, Dan. And I mean, Dillo, when you look at that point he's made, it's one of them where I don't think they'll go with that. But I also believe he will play Ampadu when he's fully fit. But then when you look at it, who would drop out? So there is an argument to say it is an option where he can tweak it when nobody drops out of the two, and someone else has to come out. So I do think it's a valid point. And yeah, what do you think, pal?
It's definitely a question to be asked, considering, you know, if that is the case, that means Aronson is the one to drop out.
It would be, yeah.
But
it's harsh though as well, though, isn't it? Taking him out the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks be very, very harsh, wouldn't
it? Every player so far, Rotwell, Tanaka, and Aronson, they're kind of undroppable at the minute for me, anyway.
Yeah.
So if Ampadu had to come in, which is definitely going to happen, the one probably to drop, and I know it's harsh, will probably be Rotwell.
Yeah. 100%.
But it would be a bad idea.
It feels harsh again, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. If Ampadu was to drop in between the centre halves, kind of like the Calvin Phillips role, and then you did have Tanaka and Rotwell. But then, as Darren said as well, he's right in what he's saying, is then you don't have that, you know, that press that Aronson gives. But then you're talking about a centre forward that's going to be running around like a headless chicken, and good old man Pirro beside me here is definitely not the man for that job. So Joseph would be, but I know I definitely, if I was Farke, I'd be banging my head against the wall, if I'm being honest.
He surely has to be thinking about, lads, like we've obviously been speaking about the last couple of weeks now. Obviously, we've talked about it in length when Rotwell and Tanaka did come in, how we were all so surprised how they took to it so well. But surely now over the coming weeks, I say Farke, I think we all kind of thought that Rotwell and Tanaka would kind of drop off a little bit. They haven't. Probably away at Millwall was probably the worst kind of game that they played together. But I think he has to be thinking about it behind what am I going to do when Ampadu does come back into this team. Farke's not really ruthless. I think he likes to give people chances. I think it'd be very, very harsh to drop Aronson, and that's probably the only thing that would stop him going into the tree, because I think he really, really likes Aronson. He really rates him. He loves his work rate. He's scoring goals for us. He's assisting. He's doing really, really well, and he's proving people wrong. And then the other side of it, if you're pulling Rotwell out of that as well, it's really, really harsh. But then that's not a bad option for Rotwell to be coming off the pitch if it isn't working. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a point that I would like to see. It's something that I would like to see happen 4-3-3. But whether Farke goes with that, he likes his two sitting midfielders, doesn't he? He likes deep line midfield, and he more so likes his wingers going, or his fullbacks getting forward as well. So there's no way in a Daniel Farke world that he's going to have his wingers and Fairbairn and Bogle bobbing forward, Tanaka, Rotwell bombing forward. Like he wouldn't like that. Then you're just talking about then you're having Ampadu, Rodon and Strike then sitting in as a tree. Do you know what I mean? Might just leave us open a little bit too much, but that's obviously, and then you're changing up the fullbacks game. Then you're asking them not to get forward as much then, because you're going to need them to cover then. You know, so it is definitely an option. It's a headache to have, and like I've been kind of thinking about it.
It's a nice headache to have, though. If I'm being honest.
It's very, very interesting that your skipper is coming back in now. I know he's kind of said, and we've obviously heard when we signed Gilavogi that he understands that like there's starting players ahead of him, when they come back, they will be back into the squad. I understand Ampadu is the captain, but I don't think you should be given a free license that, you know, you're back fitting and you're straight back in the lineup. It should be a thing where he's back in the match day squad, brought on for 20 minutes, half an hour. Do you know what I mean? Earn his place back in the squad. I don't want him just seeing he comes on 10 minutes at the end of one match and then he starts the next game. Do you know what I mean? I want to see him earn his place back. And as well, he's out with a long-term injury, so we can't be expecting Ampadu to come back and be the Ampadu that he was. It's not going to happen. It's going to take him a couple of weeks to get back up to speed. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's not too far down the line. I think he's due back training soon enough as well, isn't he? Around December, so
yeah, yes, man. I agree, pal. I think it's too much too much change for me for him. You know, too many
to try and
positions.
squeeze him in,
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be hard, like you say, because he loves Ampadu, but I don't think he's.
I'd like to see Tanaka higher up the pitch. I just think that
I think that
more.
comes, mate, when Ampadu comes back. Like you say, the switch will be Rothwell. He's on loan. He comes out, and then, like you said, Dillo, we will see Tanaka be the more Rothwell.
The more
role
advanced,
now, it'll be good to see because I think he's got it all in his game. But
not bad to have, lads. You have someone like Aronson and Tanaka further forward, like that's, to me, that's really good. That's energy, and then you've got Tanaka's kind of calmness then in and around the box, like that. Yeah, it's something that I'd more advocate to see something like that. And I know it's very, very harsh on Rothwell, but like I said, Ampadu needs to earn his starting spot in the squad. Just because he's captain, he shouldn't get a free roll. But I do think he will come back into the squad, and I do think it will be Rothwell to come out. It is going to be very, very harsh, but like what you said, Mighty nail on the head. He's a lone player, so he's definitely going to pull, the permanent players ahead of him anyway. So, but a good option to have. Great option. You're bringing Rothwell off the bench. Great option.
Is it sacrificial lamb? I say it's the easiest one. Isn't it? Being on loan, I would assume he'd kick up the least fuss. But hopefully, Callum, that answers your question. It's a brilliant point to bring up.
Great point. Fair play, Callum,
you couldn't be here tonight, but thanks for. Yeah, I agree, mate. Great question. So, without further ado, Danny Rumsey was the first one in, so we're going to bring Danny in. Absolute legend. How are you doing?
All right, Danny.
Answer to Callum's question, could we go 3 at the back with Ampadu?
Yeah, good shout. Good shout, Danny, good shout.
Yeah.
And we've spoke about Ampadu as well, potentially, that we all kind of agree that his best position is centre-half. I think that's where we've seen his best football last season, so yeah, really, really good point, Danny. Agree with you there.
You go 3-5-2.
No 3-5-2, yeah, really, really good. Gives Bogan a fair ball even more.
Yeah, 100%. Is that your point, Danny? Is that what you wanted to bring up, or have you got something else up your sleeve for us?
No, I've got something else up my sleeve.
Go on, lad. What have you got for us?
Right. So, January transfer window's coming. How many do you think we get rid of, and how many do you think we get in?
Oof. Great
I think straight off the top of the head, Gelhardt, I think, for him, not even for Leeds United, I'd like to see him go out. Whether, again, this is going to be on loan or permanent, it's going to push on his career, so Gelhardt has to go. I don't kind of see anyone else other than that going to use. So I don't see anyone else. Again, probably the fringe kind of 21 players might leave, and hopefully then 1 or 2 win then.
Yeah, I don't see. I think there'll be paper talk on Bamford. I think he might want to go, but I just can't see that going, because for Bamford to go, we'll have to replace him, and I just don't think they'll want to spend any money on a third choice striker. So the easiest option for Leeds is just to keep Bamford where he is till the end of the season. Tell him they'll allow his move then. Geldart.
Well, he's going to be back starting in January anyway, might he?
Is it?
Yeah.
Apparently, Danny, of course he is. But no, mate, he ain't starting in January, and he ain't going anywhere. I don't think.
That was a solid hook straight into the cheek.
I genuinely think, Danny, it'll be 1 out, as in Geldart, for his own career. He will go out on loan in January, and I actually believe that with nobody in. I genuinely believe nobody in.
Do you really think that one might be in?
Yeah, nobody.
I think there might be. I think there'll be a few youths in, if I'm being honest with you.
What do you think?
I think Warburg could go as well.
Not a bad shout. True. He could try and force him in January. Not a bad shout at all.
Not bad shout, because he's not getting the way the lads are playing in centre half. He's not getting back into this team. I know he can do fullback. He's not going to do anything. We've seen the stick that Boyrum has got when he came in for Firpo. There's no way he's going to give a level of Firpo or Boyrum at fullback. So yeah, good shout.
You see, I think that's why they got Gilavogi in, because I think they might use Gilavogi as a centre back and let Warburg go.
It's a great point, to be fair, Danny. It's a belting point. Yeah. I mean, if Vorba was to move on, then I don't think they'll just use Gilavogi. I think if Geldart goes, they won't replace. I think if Vorba was to go, Danny, I think they would replace. We try and bring someone else in to cover that position, because even though Gilavogi, you're right, could fill it, I still think they'll want that cover as well. But anyone outside Geldart who goes, I think they will try and get cover for him. But I just don't envisage anyone going. I think he's happy with squad. It's not a big squad as it is. It'll feel a bit thicker once we get a few injuries back. Bringing in Gilavogi as well. But I feel like I don't think it needs much work, if any, maybe this season. It's just the injury.
Do you think it's potential at 10? Like, obviously we've spoke about Aronson, not an actual 10, but doing a great job in there. No. Obviously, it's very hard in January now to get a 10. Do you think the club are going to dip into that? Do you think they'd be potentially looking at any loan signings?
I definitely think it's a question to be asked. It definitely needs to
Even
be
around
touched
the
on.
Premier League teams, even if there's going to be like a youth player that like that's his natural position in 10, I'd like to see that. You know, what I mean, just to change up, to actually
Freshen
have
it up a
someone
little bit.
that's their position. That when we can swap Aronson out and actually put an actual kind of number 10 in there. Like I wouldn't be saying to take him out, but potentially maybe a Premier League loan signing a 10 that can
Yeah,
play
but
that position.
these Premier League teams want the players starting, don't they?
Yeah.
It would have to be, like you say, a real youth prospect from a side where
Yeah,
you can
something
say
like
to
that.
them they're only going to be sitting on your bench anyway, so they may as well come down and play. You know,
They
scarce
can
minute.
have.
Yeah, that's the only way we'd get one. But I think when it comes to a 10, it's a luxury player. They're expensive. You know, yeah, you might
I
get one
don't.
on
I don't
loan.
think. I don't think he'll get one because he'll think to himself he can use Nonto there, he can use Solomon there.
Yeah. Ramazan.
Yeah.
Any of those?
That's just me. That's me personally. I'd like to see a natural number 10 that actually plays that position.
Yeah,
I'm not saying go out and splash 20 million on, like, because we obviously know how pricey number 10s are. If it was like a loan prospect from a Premier League club, I think like that would be my position. I'd like to strengthen up any number 10 because I just think at times going forward our play kind of breaks down when it kind of gets to that number 10 position, especially when Pirro's been in there a little bit, even through Aronson at times as well, just to kind of have that natural. We keep bringing it back to that Pablo Hernandez, someone that can just turn and just find the pass. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's kind of the missing link in the cog.
100%, and we know we were looking at a 10. Don't we? We went for that. Is it Roland Salai? We know that was a bit of the business this summer that didn't get done. But you can't argue, Danny, really, when you get to that. You know, when it gets to Christmas, gets to January. If we're still in and around where we are now, it depends how much the 49ers genuinely believe will go up. Because if they think we're going to go up, then why would they spend any money to get us up and then potentially bring a player in? I know we might touch on maybe getting a loan player, maybe, but I don't think they're going to spend much for that reason because we probably are going to go up. They're not idiots. They know more than us, don't they? They see more than we do, and we're confident they'll go up. So they 100% will believe they'll go up. Why would you spend money? It's like if someone told you were going to sell your house for 200 grand and you were happy with that. If you spend 10 grand in your kitchen, it's still only going to go for 200 grand. You wouldn't do what to it, would you? You just leave it as. So for me, I think that's why they won in January.
Yeah, so you think none at all either, mate? You don't think they'll dip in at all?
Mate, how many times do we need players and we don't do it? I think this might be the first January we probably don't need many. So why? I
think it might be. It obviously depends. It's still a long way to go. Sorry for cutting you off, Danny. It's still a long way to go, January, and like that, we don't really know if we're just going to be more, more injuries. Yeah. Jesus, God forbid, if there's a little setback on Ampadu as well, maybe potentially, do you know what I mean? Something like that as well. So it's a long way to go till January opens up. We can't kind of rest on our laurels. We can't do what we done last year when you see all the other teams around us, Southampton, Ipswich going out, getting their Kiefer Moores, their David Brooks, you know what I mean? Just getting them smart, shrewd signings in. Obviously, we'll know the landscape when we get to January, but I just hope we don't rest on our laurels. I mean, at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's a major, like, oh, we need a left back or we need a striker. It doesn't feel like that. I know where you're coming from, mate. It doesn't feel like major, like we need to go and actually do something. We're all kind of counting down until the window comes. But the other side, I don't want us to rest as well when there's a potential that we could do something. I'd like to see us kind of get it done just because it could be the difference seeing us over the line,
100%. I mean, I hope they do, but I just don't believe they'll do it. What do you think then, Danny, to wrap that up?
I think it depends where we are in league and how many players are injured.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Ampadu comes back in January, hopefully, like you said, Darren, all being well. That's like a new signing, and all of a sudden that thickens the bench out, whether it's him that comes into starting lineup and Rothwell drop, whatever. That's, it's not an attacking,
because there's going to be more injuries, so 100%. Like, we're not going to just get Ampadu back and then the rest of the season that, like, there's going to be no injuries. We're going to get some big injuries. Like, I'm just going to spitball in here. Like Ramazani, seeing that he put up a picture of his boots the other day, he looks like he's on his way back. You could easily have an injury to Firpo. We know kind of what his injury record was like in the past. He's been decent enough in the last season, but if you kind of get an injury there, do you know what I mean? Pascal, exactly, yeah. God forbid, like a Nanto kind of injury. So, you know what I mean? Even one of the boys, Pirro and Joseph, like, do you know what I mean? If one of them kind of gets injured as well, so that's every week, Dylan. I suppose at the minute it's kind of foreseeing and ifs, buts and maybes at the minute for the January transfer window. We're just going to, like what Danny said, we have to see where we are in the league at the time and what the landscape is with the squad, if there's any kind of big injuries. I just don't want to see us kind of, sit in our hands and like feel like, oh, we're fine. I don't want it to come back and bite us and then we're looking back in May and go, we should have done something in January,
100%. Totally echo that. What I will say is if Danny's right, lads, and Bamford starts in the first game in January, we will have to go sign a third choice striker because he will be injured. So if Bamford forces his way into the starting lineup, like you say, Danny, which I don't think is going to happen, but if Bamford gets any minutes in January, we will have to replace Bamford because he just can't hold up. But other than that,
what did I say to you on a message last night? People think I don't know what's going on.
mate, you know, honestly, lads, on stream I did last night when we were doing the best worst 11. Honestly, if Danny wasn't, which I believe him, he weren't googling. He knows a lot about this club. So yeah, I won't be too surprised, mate, if Bamford does get some minutes. But I just that's one of them when I hope you are wrong, buddy. I hope you are wrong.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe, mate, maybe. Right, well, just to
You had me thinking that you have the fear of God in me now, Danny, because I was saying it when I was saying it to the lads, and I was like, Danny just has me thinking that Bamford's going to start them like up the walls.
I haven't slept in weeks thinking about it.
Honestly, I keep panicking, me thinking he's going to call Bamford being player manager by 2026 or something. And we're
Oh, mate, stop, will you?
Danny, you put fear of life into me. Right, guys, anyway, for anyone that's watching, I keep dropping the link into the chat. So you can jump on and join the lobby, and I'll get you all on as and when I can. But for now, we've got 2 waiting. So for now, Danny, we'll see how the stream develops. But for now, we're going to say bid farewell to you, my boy, and we'll speak to you soon. Remain in the chat, our #1 fan.
Thanks, Danny.
No. And I didn't have a player for Davin and that. We've got Sean Dyche at bottom right. We've got Noel Whelan top left. And then top right, James Ward-Prowse.
Take that. Wonderful.
Wounded.
I'm not even. I'm going bald, but I'm not bald yet, Danny G.
Right then, Danny. For now, mate. Thank you so much, buddy.
No problem.
You're a legend.
Cheers, Danny. Thanks, pal.
Danny. Cheers, mate.
See you later.
Right, next on, we're going to get Sean in. He was second.
What a man, Danny.
Here we
Hey,
go.
Sean, nice to see
We
you.
all hate sword scum. We all hate sword scum. We all hate sword scum.
How are you doing, Sean?
All right, Sean.
Well,
What's happening?
yeah, all good. How are you?
Struggling to hear you, pal. I don't know if you guys are the same. You're a bit quiet, Sean. Need you to shout.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear him all right, lads? Are you a bit quiet now?
Yeah, it's a little bit low, yeah. A little bit low.
Okay.
That's a bit better.
Got it?
Get a bit closer. Yeah, get a bit closer. That's a bit bad, Sean.
That sounds a bit better there now, yeah.
Sean, look at this. Sean, stop sitting on the mic.
So ruthless, isn't it?
Right then, Sean, you messaged me today, buddy, saying you've got a decent point to bring up. So I'm looking forward to this one, buddy.
He's gone.
See you, Sean. Bye, Sean.
Sorry, anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Are you with us?
the earphones out completely. I've just taken the earphones out completely.
I can hear you there. That's much better.
That's much better.
Go on then, pal. What did you want to say?
All good.
Oh, good. How are you, Sean?
Yeah, I was chatting to Joe and Lockie on the last stream, and one of Joe's stream there a couple of days ago. And it's actually something that me and Joe actually agreed on. Was that
Wow.
Rumors
That's not often.
yeah, I know. There's rumours that Mourinho is looking for a low-level Premier League team. So what is the chances if we do go up?
All over it.
That's
100%.
a belt. That's a belting one to bring up, that mate.
Oh,
That's a
Sean, I tell you what, right? I'll make a deal with you now, pal. If that happens, I will do a whole year next year on stream in the nip.
Mm.
do you know what? Right, when he started saying that, I could see where I could see where that was going as you started speaking, Sean, and it sounded wild. And then as you finished the sentence, I started to let myself believe for a second. And when you look at it, right, I never even thought about it. I mean, I've seen the interview, I've seen the press where they've said he's looking at a lower end. Yeah, when he don't want to be in Europe. And when you look at it, there's outside the European spots, mate. When we're in the Premier League, who's better than us? Who's bigger than us? What project is more exciting than Leeds, not in Europe, than the European side?
No.
We'll have a new stadium.
No.
We'll have a new stadium. We'll be building the stadium, extending the stadium. On his backing. We'll have the Red Bull backing.
Yeah, 100%. Look at that! Look at that! Andy, that's
Come
the one.
on, Andy.
Yeah, that's the one, Andy.
That is the comment of the night.
That is the one, mate. That is the one.
Very good, very good.
Right. So
Like that.
anyway, let's go around houses with that. Darren, do you
The only
think
thing, exactly. I think, I know where Sean's come from. It'd be great. It'd be entertaining. It'd be definitely someone that you get on board with. You know, when a face kind of walks in the dressing room door, instantly everyone's kind of, on him and respects him 100%. The only thing I agree with Danny is saying there is football, lads. At times we give out about Daniel Farke's football at the minute. We've all seen Mourinho's football at times. It could be very kind of sit back in and wait. And
he's very much defence first, isn't he, Darren?
very, very, very much defence first. A lot more than Daniel Farke. I get it, the entertainment side of it. To say that Jose Mourinho is the Leeds manager would be absolutely unbelievable.
Unreal.
Class, but then it's the realistic side. Then when you're like, gee, what type of football is he gonna play? Then do you know what I mean? That would be the only gripe I'd have with that one. Practically unbelievable. Like what you said, I don't think there's that bigger. Potentially, maybe in Everton, if Everton after building their stadium, would he look at something like that? Yeah, but you're not.
Anyway.
Yeah, hopefully,
We say that every
Hopefully.
year, but they're just about staying, don't they? The thing is with Mourinho, he's never out of work long, is he? So it all comes down to whether the stars align, whether timing, is right, because Farke's going to have a crack at it next season. Whether hovering around 14th, 15th might not be enough for some fans. That might be where the 49ers, expect us to be and want us to be. So it depends. I mean, if we're around the relegation zone after 10, 12 games, they may look at a decision. But I think if we're 14th, 15th, I think they'll be quite confident with that. So it all depends with timing. But like I say, whenever Mourinho is out of a job, he's not out of a job long, is he, Sean? He tends to take a job pretty quickly. So it comes out of timing. But I'd be all over that. But I do think, Sean, I don't know how you sit. I think you're not Farke out, are you? Or you're not keen on Farke. Am I right with that?
I'm just not keen. I'm probably trying to push that with Joe just to wind them up, but
you're not a massive fan of Farke, though, are you?
I'm not a fan of Farke, though. I don't think he's a Premier League manager.
But Sean, do you agree that he deserves? If he gets us up, when he gets us up, do you agree he deserves a shot though? Or do you think we should be ruthless and just go?
He's been given his chance with Norwich and stuff that I know to get the money, but there's obviously a reason why he wasn't given the money.
I think that was more just they haven't got money. Not like that. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they have. I don't know. It's hard because when you're a fan of someone, you tend to sometimes bang that drum, maybe a bit blind. You know what I mean? Like, and then you hear people like Sean and other people, and you start to look at that's a point. But when sometimes it's like blind faith in it because I'm so far in, I can't always see it wood foot tree sort of thing. But I just think in my general life, I feel like sometimes if you deserve a shot, but I know it's business, Sean, and money talks, and it's their baby, and it's 49ers money. They need to make sure it thrives. But when I look at it, I just think you've got to give people a chance. And then, maybe 3 months into the season, if we're absolutely dire, which I don't think will be that bad, they'll maybe look at pulling plug because they can't risk it. What do you think, Dilo, about Mourinho and Farke in general?
Going back to what I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm the Leedsy fan. Dreams and reality to me are a big thing. If it happens, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic manager. What he's achieved with any club that he's been with. But going back to what Darren said, I've noticed with him, I know people are probably going to shut me down on this one. He is very defensively, and he just kind of goes and buys a high-profile striker and just throws him up top and hopes for the best. And clearly, hopefully, Bamford won't be here for that. But it'd be nice to see, for us going forward, like a high-profile manager. But look, it's always going to be rumours and expectations and, behind closed doors. But for me, Farke's the man at the minute. Going into the Premier League, I think we should worry about that when we're there. He definitely deserves a crack at it. And hopefully every fan and the club back him. And then hopefully we stay up within that season. Well, as far as Mourinho goes, it'd be a great thing, but I think we all have to wake up from the dream, lads. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that it's that wild, lads. I really don't think it's that wild. It isn't, because kind of the way his career has gone, he's kind of been bouncing here and there. He's been over in Italy and that. You can he loves managing in the Premier League. He loves bouncing off the English media. And 100%, is he going to get one of them big jobs anymore? I don't think so. 100% not. He's not going to get a Spurs again. You know, it might be like that and everything. He's definitely not going to get a Villa because Emre's doing a great job there. So, yeah, it could. Yeah, I don't think it's that wild, to be honest. And the reason why I don't think it is that wild, and this is not just for Mourinho, I think Daniel Farke is on a short leash this season, a lot more than what he was last season.
Yeah.
And I think when we do go up, he's going to be even on a shorter leash. Even though he potentially will get us out of this division and get us promoted, I just think the 49ers will work so hard. They're smart people. They're Americans. They're not going to want to see their money wasted. It's not going to be like Radrazani where he went up and, you know, there's just one man trying to force it. This is a whole enterprise behind. Leeds United need to stay in the Premier League. And I could very, very easily see it. I know you said 10, Matty. I could even see it after 4 or 5 matches if we don't pick up a win. I could very, very see them pulling the trigger on. I do really think. I think as soon as we get to the Premier League, they'll have their finger on the trigger and they'll just wait for any sort of little bit. And I know that sounds really, really harsh, but it's exactly what Sean said. He's been given his opportunity with Norwich, and I just really think. I hope he's doing well. Don't get me wrong, Jesus Christ. I hope he go up, and I hope like if our manager's doing well, it means we're doing well. Of course, I want Daniel Farke to do well, but I'm just thinking with these Americans. I think they've obviously seen the previous and they might just be a little bit trigger happy and have him on a short leash because if it doesn't start well, I think we could see him going very, very quick.
And does Farke start well? And does Farke ever really start well?
No, it's always slow. It always starts off slow.
So I think they're going to absolutely, even if they won't give him the time, he might end up being good, but he won't be given the time and he starts seasons off slow.
Yeah.
I just can't see it happening.
The thing is, if they've already got the finger on the trigger and they're already thinking like that, like you said, Darren, that could be right. I mean, we might be able to tell the thinking in terms of what budget they give him because if they don't spend much, that might go to show you they don't want him to mould his side with tens of millions when they're thinking about pulling triggers. So that might give us an indication, mate.
I have a feeling they might just give him like enough and like this whole thing with the number 10 situation. He was very vocal about the number 10 after that happened. And we obviously heard Angus Kinnear then his interview then with the square ball after that, and he obviously said they were chasing. To me, they were a little bit reluctant to kind of go and get that number 10. If they kind of had all their eggs in one basket with Daniel Farke, they would have went and got the number 10. But I do agree with what you're saying. It's going to be very interesting to see when we do go up what sort of budget has been given, what sort of players come in the door just before the season starts, because obviously it's still up until the end of that month. Yeah, I think he's going to be on a very, maybe if your finger on the trigger is a little bit kind of much, but I do think he'll be on a shorter leash, and I don't think he'll get the time. I don't even think 10 games, lads, to be honest with you. I just think they'll shit it. Like if Leeds don't start well, if we don't like that win in the first 5, I could very easily see him gone, and like that it could be a Mourinho coming in the door, like, and he's not going to he'd want wages, but he's not going to demand massive wages, like, you know, he's a smart man. Yeah, it could very easily happen. I don't think it's that far out of this reality, you know.
And I think on the slow football, the slow football that Mourinho, the defensive football that Mourinho plays, I think he might get away with it because he's played a certain way. That's what his serial winner is. One things.
Yeah.
His Farke's played this defensive football, but has won nothing. You know what I mean? So
and Mourinho he'll love beating the underdog as well, won't he, lads? Like, he's been at obviously the massive clubs, Madrid, United, Chelsea with a lot of money. That was obviously they were always expected to kind of be the front runners. Mourinho would relish in that, wouldn't he? That Leeds, you know, kind of the underdogs that he would, like, Leeds are going to Old Trafford. You know, I mean, he'd love going there like that, frustrating the shit out of them and us nicking it 1-0. Like, that would be Mourinho all over.
Lad. Way he's going, nearly every team he played against is managed.
I'm starting to get really excited about this topic, to be honest with you. I'm buzzing now.
What Andy's just said there,
this is this as Leeds fans, we're sitting here now, and all the criticism that we give at Daniel Farke is that his football is shite and his football is boring. You think his football's boring, you have to watch Mourinho's over the last couple of seasons. And I have, even his time at Spurs, it was horrendous. Over in Rome, it's been really bad as well. Look, it's effective and it does work like Daniel Farke's does, not to the same success. But his football is obviously a little bit harder on the eye, you know.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just to touch on what Andy said here, in a recent conversation in the press, he definitely said he'd look at sides towards the lower of the Premier League, didn't he? That's an old quote. Yeah. That's an old quote there. The top 6, he isn't interested.
The top 6 is an old
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an older Andy. So he has said, I think only last week or week before, he's only interested in coming back to England out of manager side outside the top 6. He doesn't want to mess around with Europe and that. So that's why Sean's brought it up, and rightly so, to be fair, because when you look outside those European sides, when we are in the Premier League next season, we've got to be pick up bunch really for anyone looking. So it was a great topic, that, Sean, and thank you very much for bringing it up. So we're going to wrap it up for now because we've got Russ waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So thank you. Hang around on chat and we'll see what happens, because at the minute we've only got Russ in there. We've got no one after that. So anybody watching, I've got the link in. Go back on chat. I'll put it in again. We've got the link. Come and join us if you've got a point and you want to talk about Leeds. We'd much appreciate it. So yeah, Sean, for now, thank you very much, buddy. That was a great point. I love that as well.
Cheers, Sean. Thanks, buddy.
Take care, Sean, my mate. Thank you very much. That was class. That I really enjoyed that.
Very good.
That question. That was class. That
Mourinho, lads.
Jose Mourinho. Could you imagine that? Imagine that from the south stand.
Right then, without further ado, let me just take this one down. We welcome Russ. Hey up, Russ. Nice to finally meet you, my mate. How are you doing?
What's happening, Russ? All good?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Thank you. Yourself?
All good. Thanks for coming in.
Brilliant, mate. Nice to have you on here, mate. Thanks so much for coming. Yes, man. The best badge, that one, mate. That is the best badge.
Love the smiley.
Stuff on back of my wall there as well. Look.
Love it.
Legend.
Love it.
Mate, there's nothing better, Russ, than a passionate Leeds fan. It's my favourite.
I've even got a signed shirt from last season, from the squad from last season. Including Luke Ayling.
Oh, lovely. Hey, mate, I love Luke Ayling no matter how. Even when his legs went and he were getting sticky. That was a hard one, Luke Ayling, mate. That was a hard one because I love Luke Ayling. And I know you guys do as well.
Look at him in the middle of that borough now, lads. He's still putting in a shift, that borough.
It's on the back of my jersey right now, Ayling, on this one.
Is it? Yeah. Lovely.
Good up Charles there, will you? Charles there.
I'm not wearing any trousers.
Right then, Russ, have you got anything you wanted to discuss or you wanted to bring up to us, mate? Or...
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to ask you a question. Cause obviously, when Ramazani comes back, I know Nonto's been playing well. James has done well this season.
Yep.
Solomon's done well when he's played. When Ramazani's back, who would be your first choice wingers on either flank?
Well, we'll go to you first, Russ. What would yours be?
Well, I've got a team which obviously goes back to an earlier point with Ampadu coming back as well. So this would be my team when everyone is fit.
Yep.
I'd go with Melly.
Yep.
I keep the back four the same. So Bogle, Rodon, Strauch and Fairpo.
Yep, fair.
I'd have Tanaka and Ampadu in defensive mid.
Yep.
I'd keep Amundsen in the 10. Yep. I'd have Nonto and Ramazani either side, Nonto right, Ramazani left.
Striker.
And I'd have Matteo Joseph up front.
Wow. Ooh. To be fair, that ain't too far away from what I'd have, to be fair, mate. That ain't too far from what I'd have. The Ampadu in midfield is the one that bugs me, but I do believe that's where they'll go, as we just touched on, Russ. When it comes to the wingers, I feel like Nonto's undroppable, and I know nobody's undroppable, and he shouldn't be. I just feel like on his day, he's got that magic touch that not many players have. So for me, it would be Nonto and Ramazani. Although I will caveat that and say, if Nonto had a bad game or two, James comes straight in for me. And if James gets in there, I think James keeps it because he doesn't tend to have many bad games when he's fully fit. I think at this level, Dan James is unbelievable and would start for the rest of the league. And I just think he's very unfortunate that he's got Nonto. But I would agree that Nonto and Ramazani probably start. Yeah. What do you guys reckon?
I don't.
Yeah.
Spoiled, aren't we, boys? We're spoiled.
Yeah, we have to agree. So far in the show, it has to be Nonto and Ramazani 100%. Do feel a little bit for Daniel James. I just think Nonto, we can kind of just get Nonto firing a little bit more. Like we said, he hasn't been playing badly lately. It just hasn't been happening for him in front of goal. If we get Nonto scoring and assisting, he has to start. He's a creative player, 100%. But like what you said, mate, to have Dan James then coming off the bench and Solomon as well when we get him fully fit as well, absolutely quality. So yeah, has to be Ramazani. For me, he's probably been the best winger that we've had so far this season. Now he's obviously been out injured. He's going to hit them heights when he comes back. Yeah, since Rafinha. Speaking about Rafinha, did you see his free kick for Brazil?
Yeah,
I have post.
Lads. I've not seen that yet either.
Lord.
And what I will say is, I saw the Spain versus England 21s game today, and Joseph played well for Spain.
Did he do well? Yeah.
Did he score? Just no.
He finished 0-0.
Oh, did he finish 0-0? Okay, but he played well. Did he put a good shift
Yeah.
in? Usual stuff, stretching defence and.
Yeah, and Archie Gray played as well, and Archie were playing right back and he were coming out towards Archie's side and trying to beat him with some touches. So good to see them playing again.
Yeah.
Well, on the same pitch together anyway.
Russ, do you see? Well, should I say, where do you see Solomon getting any minutes then? Because if everyone's fit, which is a big if, and Ramazani isn't far off being back now, where do you see Solomon fitting in if you do at all, Russ?
I think he'll come on for like the last 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes when Ramazan is, because we know that when we've got, say, 3 games in a week, potentially fetch him, rotate him in and say rotate James in on the wings and freshen it up in out and wings as well, and also potentially, I know he doesn't like to drop Aronson because Aronson's playing well for him at the moment. I could potentially see him play there because he played for Israel last night against France in a 0-0 draw, played about 75 minutes, and he played in the number 10.
Yeah. That's fair.
And he played in the number 10, so potentially the number 10.
I think Solomon could play in 10. We've touched on it a few times, but to go back to that, Russ, what you were just saying then about him maybe getting 15, 20 minutes off at bench, do you think he will be happy with that? Do you think Spurs will be happy with that? Or do you think there will be potentially a recall in January? Or do you think that won't happen?
I think that won't happen because I think from what I've heard within the media, I'm not going to say where I've heard it or who I've heard it from, but Spurs are currently happy with how he's played, with how he's going. And the minute Leeds have mentioned to them because his injuries is going to. The other clubs wanted to fetch him in, but Leeds were the only one willing to pay the wage fee that the amount of wages that Spurs wanted the other club to pay.
Yeah.
And because other clubs, like Lazio came in from they wanted to do 50-50, where Spurs wanted to do 60-40, but Leeds said, we'll do that, and if he's not playing, we'll drop it down to 50-50, which they agreed to. When he's fit and playing, it'll be 60-40. So when he's fit, we'll pay 60, they're paying 40. Spurs.
I didn't know that, mate. I didn't know that all. I know he's on a lot of money, and cool. I know we backed ourselves with him and said we'd pay a massive portion, but I didn't realise we'd got a deal as in when he don't play a little bit that comes off.
It comes off a little bit. Just
that's smart business, though, that lads, isn't it? Like it has to be, because that's really smart from Leeds if they've done that, lads. That's really, really good from the board, because they obviously know his injury record and they'll kind of put that in there. That's really good. Fair play to the club for that.
And that's why it took a bit longer to get for the transfer to get done. So just adding that bit out, last bit anyway. That bit out where if you weren't playing to reduce it down. I mean, that's why it took a bit longer to get over the line and finish.
Fair.
Going back to what you said, Matty, about the wingers, I definitely start Ramazani and Nando in an ideal, the normal way. If I had to go the full starting 11, going back to what Russ said, I would start Pero up top. It's very harsh, but I'd like to see Nando in the 10, and I'd put James on. And I know that's harsh dropping Aronson, but I just think Nando could offer us a little bit more in the 10.
Do you know what I'd like to see, lads? With that Dillo, I'm all for that, because at the minute you've got Aronson playing, and because he's just a workhorse, he'll run all day for you, he'll run all day and all night, right? And that's great for us with a press. It would be nice just to see what it would be like if he was to come out. Maybe you kept Joseph up front so he can do the pressing, and you had a bit of a luxury playing in there. I mean, we saw with Jorginho last year. You know, he, don't get me wrong, he got about who were busy, but he weren't Aronson busy. He was a luxury player, and you let him have those pockets and those moments in games. And it would be nice just to see how we'd go this season without having that workhorse and actually having a bit of a luxury player who might only grab the game by its scruff at neck maybe 2 or 3 times within that 90-minute game. But when he does, he makes something happen. Like, I would like to see this Leeds this season go with a flair player in that 10 rather than a hard-working Aronson, just to see how it works. And for me, Dillo, Nonto would be an excellent 10. But I also agree with you. I don't think he'll do it, because don't change what's working.
I just think James has more to offer, lads. I mean,
Yeah,
He's just been so kind of consistent, when he's coming on or he's been starting, he's just been so good. And not though, there's going to be people that are kind of hating him at the minute, saying that he's not doing enough. He's doing more than enough. It's just he hasn't been scoring goals, which is harsh, because he has been playing so well. I just feel like once Ramzani's on, he's undroppable. Solomon's kind of getting there with each game. He's getting more minutes in the legs, and he's getting a bit more confidence build back up. But I just think with DJ at the minute, lads, he's just been on fire. Performance might drop, but then he's proven it again in the next game, and he's just been consistent in that way. But for me, I just think not that Aronson done anything bad. I just think it needs a little bit of a shape up. That's all. It's
Russ, what would you think? What would your opinion be of trying Tanaka in the 10?
I think he can work 'cause he's actually played there a bit for some of the games for Japan when he first joined us in the first international break, and he pushed a bit further up into the number 10. He would make him runs from the 6 towards the 10, and the drop to, and when the player were playing 10, drop back to so there was still to. So I played a 4-3-3, and he would then further advanced than the one who was supposed to be advanced. So he has done that as well. And Nonto were playing for Italy under 21, came off in the 73rd minute for Italy under 21 start against France in a 2-2 draw. That was this afternoon at 3:15. So Nonto got some minutes today for.
Got some minutes today, yeah.
Yeah, but Verba didn't get any minutes yesterday for.
Did he not?
Didn't get any minutes yesterday.
Did he not?
No young sub all game against Kazakhstan.
He's not even playing against Kazakhstan.
Yeah, he's
that's
on
important,
it.
isn't it?
He's going to move on in January.
I can't rate him at all.
No,
I'm staying reserved on him. I obviously know what he's done, but we haven't seen him play much this season. So, footballing wise, I'm going to reserve my opinion on him. Obviously, what he done to us, yeah, we all totally disagree. But yeah, we could see him moving on in January, lads.
Tell you what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to put you on spot, and I'll get Danny and Sean to just drop back in and tell me there. So I don't know if you saw us. I did a best worst 11 yesterday. I hadn't had many views, so you might not have seen it, right? So you have to go back and watch.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
You see it, right?
I didn't watch it because I was busy last night, so I didn't.
That's fine, mate. But before I let you go, I want you just to run through as quick as you can. Jog your memory. Give me a 1-11 of the worst players you can remember as quick as you can for who's played for us in the last 20 years since we were first relegated from the Prem, Ross. Sorry to put you on spot, but come on, fire some names out.
Paul Chupka definitely in goal.
Yep, he was there.
He was class.
For me. Darren O'Dear, a centre back. He didn't play that good for us, in my opinion. I know you're Irish, but I don't think he would have.
Nah, horrendous.
Good for us.
Horrendous footballer.
Another centre half.
I put probably alongside him towards the back end of his playing for us. I'd probably put Clark Carlisle up there because I think he lost a bit of his pace towards the back end of his time there. I'd probably put Jason. I know we're in the promotion side, but I'd put Jason Crowe right back.
Right, okay.
Because I prefer when Bombay played a right back or a centre back over them. I put a centre back.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I'd put a left back. I'm not sure I'd play a left back.
Lawrence de Bock.
Yeah,
Probably.
the Buck, yeah.
He's probably
Probably the Buck, yeah.
He's got to be up there for me. The Buck.
Yeah.
And I put Verdon and to in midfield.
Yeah, I forgot about him. He was poor for us, wasn't he? I remember him
Yeah.
now, yeah.
For striker, I'd
was
put Jeff
so
Horsfield. I'd put Jeff Horsfield as one of the strikers.
Jeff Horsfield, mate.
Do you remember Brett Ormerod used to play for us as well? Do you remember Brett Ormerod came in and everyone was waxing lyrical about him? And oh my Jesus.
I've got Bosnas coming on next, and there's a couple of names in there that we didn't say, Bosnas. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that. But there's some absolute bangers, Russ, honestly.
Another one who got sent off playing against Accrington in the JPT, Da Costa. He was shocking as well, midfielder.
Da Costa, yeah.
As if you remember when they got carded as well, Russ.
Actually, sick, lads.
It's because it was actually, and it was actually because it was actually at that game as well.
Really?
Yeah, I was at that game.
Those
And,
were the times JPT trophy games. Oh my word.
yeah, and what I've done as well during lockdown, and I'm still doing it for this season. I've done a spreadsheet from the 91-92 season when we won the first division, all the way through till this season with every single match we've played. Our lineup, the score, and who scored.
Wow, mate.
Mental.
They need to get you in club, mate, for scouting side. You put your work in, honestly. You Bielsa in disguise. You Bielsa in disguise. Legend.
Yes, and I'm still doing it this season as well. So I've got it all updated so far up to this season already.
Class, love it. Some dedication.
All I need to do is just update the fixture changes for the January games for the days they're now being played on, and then everything's up. And everything's up to date then.
Fair play, Russ. Honestly, you're a better man than me, mate. Anyway, Russ, right? It was lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for popping on, Russ. Fair play to you.
We'll get you on again,
Say, you guys, I love your channel as well. Down in Dillon.
Thanks very much, Russ. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a million.
I was glad when you went on Joe's channel for the first time. So I always watched Joe.
Really good. Thanks very much, yeah.
Thanks,
Joe's been helping us all out. Thanks a million, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
Cheers, buddy. Talk to you soon. Mind yourself, buddy. Super Leeds.
What a lovely
legend, Russ.
What a lovely lad.
What a lovely guy. I tell you what, mate, they need to get him in for that scouting mission.
I'm interested. Who did you put as striker in your worst 11?
Striker, I had, me and Boss Nass had Ricketts and JKA.
JKA, yeah, I would have said JKA, yeah.
Was it Bamford?
But you remember Jimmy Kebe? Remember Jimmy Kebe came in, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna be unbelievable." He was horrendous for us as well. Roque Junior. Remember he played for Brazil? I remember Roque Junior's coming in. He's gonna do a job. He was horrendous. Do you know who's actually up there? I know we say Rubke for the worst goalkeeper, but you know who's actually probably probably slightly better than him? Remember Vivald? Remember Felix Vivald?
I had him on my list, mate. He didn't make the side, but I had him on the list. Yeah.
Did you? Jesus Christ, he was a horrendous goalkeeper. We've had
some shockers, mate. Absolute shockers. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to Boss Nass in, who helped me compile the best worst 11 yesterday. Boss Nass, welcome to the stage.
How are you, buddy?
How we doing, boys?
How you
Can you hear me all right?
All good.
How's the lassie's Mac?
I don't know, mate. I'm assuming it's all right because she's working on it now. So yeah,
that 11 didn't break it yesterday, then unfortunately.
But I do want to say something though. That honestly, for how fun a watch that video is that we did yesterday. Like genuinely, it's a fun watch. Like I had a look at the views today. That is criminal.
No view. Boss, that's what it is. I don't watch international football unless it's a tournament, and I totally forgot England were playing yesterday. So I don't know if that's factored in, even though a lot of Leeds fans will tell you they don't. So watched England. I've just got to mentally go. They all were watching England, boss. That's just they all were watching it. But yeah, for
I think it's like just international lads, though, isn't it? Because like during obviously when the season's rolling and there's like midweek games and weekends in, you'll have people on here, subscribers, like looking, what's the update? What are they saying? I think when it's international break, people like kind of just like to take a little break from it, kind of just. There's no football on, I'll get back to YouTube when the football is back. It could be a little bit of that as well,
I mean, you have nothing to say on that anyway, Darren, because our national team isn't in the way messed, we're kind of But that being said, we did get the win yesterday.
They won last night.
Evan Ferguson.
Just about. Finland hit the post twice, and Queevy and Gallagher saved the penalty as well. Finland actually weren't a bad side, but yeah,
so we're winning the World next World Cup.
But to be fair, Boss Nass, we enjoyed it, and that's all that matters, mate. So sometimes you'll get winners, won't you? Sometimes you'll get losers, but it is what it is. So anyway, are you still there, Boss Nass? Looks like if you are, you're very still. We've lost it.
I was
about to say he is some statue.
I was going to say, is that man going to blink? Honestly, my eyes were watering for him.
He doubles up as one of those blokes you see, like in city centres, painted as Tin Man, and he just stands there for about 8 hours. You put 10p in, he gives you a little nod, then goes back to the same pose.
I have a question for the boys. I'll throw it out there.
If he comes back on,
are we gonna win? We're gonna win it all, the whole lot.
Yeah.
All right.
We are gonna win the league.
I need that kind of reassurance, before I go to bed. It's like when I was younger I used to get a bedtime story read to me, even though I didn't. But whenever, it just gives you that bit of confidence going to bed at night. You know, to know he's back.
100%, Delo. 100%.
You know,
Are you back, Boss Nass?
Lads, I don't know what goes on when I come on. Are we doing it again?
You're on. You're there. You're happy.
Yeah, there.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
You're there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when I come on a not Imagine Being Leeds podcast, but I don't know what happens. Everything goes wrong in my house.
Don't be blaming me.
That's just Matty. That's just Matty.
Yeah, to be fair, mate. To be fair, I flash up on IP just like, do not let him in your house. He is mental. He is mental. Anyway, right. So have you, Bostas, have you got anything for us in terms of current affairs? Have you got anything?
Okay, I had a question. Well, I had a question, but then I thought it's not, because I totally forgot that I needed to come on here with a question, which is, you know, it's what it is. It's a Friday night. I've had a couple of beers, you know what I mean? But I've got one for the boys, and it's not to do with this season, but it's a good question. So hear me out. Did being too flashy and not buying Premier League proven players and trying to be the smartest man in the room cost Leeds United when we was in the Premier League?
Yeah, we never built on it, did we not? From the 9th place finish, like what did we finish? 3 or 4 points off potentially European spot. We never pushed on. That transfer window when we didn't back Bielsa was just absolutely horrendous. How we didn't put our hand in our pocket then, but it was kind of then when I knew when we didn't back him. This is even before things start going downhill in Bielsa. And I remember saying it to Dylan at the time. I said, you'll see Radrizzani go now. He's kind of done what he's only bought the club for what he did. He's made it a Premier League club. He wants to sell it now for a profit. He was never there long term. He was only there to get Leeds to the Premier League to make his profit and jump ship. And I think it's probably one of the biggest mistakes that we've had in the last 20 years, just not backing Bielsa that season, because God knows the heights we're at. Look at Aston Villa. Look where they're at now. You know, it's it's one that I don't like to think about, because when I think back, it's just like, why didn't we just back him at that time? But
it's because we did. Me and Matt obviously did the best Leeds United 11 yesterday, and I was thinking that's what sparked me up, because I was thinking Rasmus Christiansen, Max Verber, Mark Rocker, decent player, but didn't cut it in the Premier League, in my opinion, anyway.
No.
That's a lot of money just in those three.
Yeah.
I know Max came in late.
The recruitment was very poor, I think, overall. Like, there was 1 or 2 gems that Arthur had in there. Obviously, the major one, Rafinha. To think that he played for Leeds United still is unbelievable. But even the likes of Rodrigo, lads, when I look back on Rodrigo fondly, because I think he was a decent player for us. But when in the Premier League, his performances were very hit and miss. And I remember I was thinking, like, he was at record signing, you know, Spanish number 9 at the time, and we expected so much more from him. And then he just didn't care. Literally, I was just about to say, similar to the Pirlo situation now. We went and we done the thing we all were telling the club to do. They done it, and it didn't work. And like what you said, the likes of Mark Rocker, Christensen, like we never built on it. Like, it's one of the big things, and it's a mistake again that we can't make. If we do go up to the Premier League, we can't sit in our hands. We have to. It needs to be experience. It needs to be Premier League players as well for me.
I think with Bielsa, it was you know, he done his magic, you know, considering we got us promoted, and then like that when we finished 9th, I think we can all agree we were absolutely buzzing, you know. Oh my God, first year in the Premier League, you know. So I think he put everything into them players, finishing 9th. I thought we had a great season. Like, it was great to see, for me anyway, considering the last time Leeds were in the Premier League, I was very young at the time. I can't remember what age was, but I can't remember how. Like, I can only remember bits. So my teens growing up, I always seen Leeds in League 1 or League 2 or the Championship, and I could never understand that as I said growing up. So when I seen Leeds finishing 9th in the Premier League for a season, I was saying to myself, this is it. Like, this is where this club is going to change the history for me, you know, in years to come. When I tell my son, I remember Leeds when they were playing in League 1, League 2, son, you know, now they're in the Premier League. So when they didn't back him, and Darren had that conversation with me, as he said, I said to myself, right, is this, I never kind of experienced a relegation like we did, years ago, as I said, because I was young. So that was kind of hard to see. Mostly it was more annoying, like for me anyway, considering that kind of whole unity that I always say about Bielsa when he was here. He brought the city together, he brought the fans back together. It just felt very special. And it was all taken away like that. So I blame the board. Never forgive them for it. And that's where we are now. But yeah, definitely there should have been money in the pocket, and there should have been spent on world class players.
It was always his plan. It was always his plan to get us out of this division and make a profit on Leeds United, and that's that window right there and then when we didn't back. And I said it to Dylan at the time, said he's not in it. The plan now for him is to sell this club as the profit the way it is now. He never had enough money, and probably knew that he didn't, to push it onto that level when we finished 9th. Bielsa made him all his money. It was Bielsa the master behind it all. We all know that now, and it's just
100%.
Yeah, it's detrimental that we never pushed on.
Like you said earlier, Darren.
But even after that, lads, the decisions they made after that, like to make the decision to bring in Jesse Marsh, lads, and I still remember Jesse Marsh's first interview when he sat down on El Road and it was all kind of calm and it was just American lad coming in, and I remember it was literally just like the new stepdad in the room, wasn't it? Just instantly, just no one liked him. No one wanted him. No one wanted to be there, and that's kind of harsh. And you're trying to be like, right, I need to kind of back this man. We need to move on to Bielsa, but a horrendous decision as well. And obviously when we were sacking Marsh, I believe Emery was in there, was a show as well. So we never went for Emery. So yeah, I just think that board had some kind of gems in there, like that Rafinha getting Bielsa in, but other than that, some of the decisions that they made at the football club was just...
Can you remember it was like a documentary thing when they went to Spain, remember it, for the kind of pre-season thing? It was on YouTube, it was like an hour long. Can anyone remember that? When Marsh was kind of giving us a insight of the training for the pre-season of the second year of the Premier League. Can you remember that? No,
I didn't see that.
To be honest, I stopped watching after about 3 or 4 weeks of him in charge. I stopped watching press conferences and all that. I couldn't listen. Nothing against American people like whatsoever, but he was literally just a motivator. That's all he was. Like, he'd no tactical nous. Every time he was asked questions about the game, like, it was just...
Anything he was saying,
but that's what he tried to do. Like, this thing, showing them all films and all this, like, shit. Like,
it was,
I
just felt like
decision
when he did come in, as Darren said, it was like the stepdad figure, and then I was kind of saying to myself, well, these the board, they know what they're at. Clearly, I was wrong. But like that, if anyone hasn't seen it, if you go back, it's about an hour long. It's on the Leeds United YouTube channel.
Even more Allardyce, remember Allardyce did a interview there. He was doing a podcast and he turned around and said that it was the most unfit team that he's ever seen. When he came in, he said the players were just so unfit, they were absolutely dead in their feet. And we could all agree with that.
To that.
To be top of the charts, to being the worst. But we all seen that, lads, because we'd start games like a bad out of hell, and then literally as soon as it hit the 60 minutes, the players just looked dead on their feet. They looked like they couldn't run, they couldn't move, they were sluggish, literally like they had lead in their boots. Like, it was,
It was mad though, because it demanded a high intensity performance, did Marsh. We didn't have the ball, but he wanted you to bomb around, and he didn't. So I don't know what we're doing training.
Yeah, but I'll say on that, Matty, I will say on that, he's come from Red Bull set up, and imagine the amount of extra staff, the amount of like athleticism coaches, the metrics, the statistics. Yeah. He won't be doing that work there. So coming into Leeds, that'd have been totally new to him because it was all on him. Whereas I reckon that was all taken care for him at Red Bull.
Yeah, they would have had people in place there. Good point.
Yeah, you can see with Red Bull model, can't you, that they have specialists in every single area. Like you say, I agree with that, to be fair. And also, when he were at Red Bull Salzburg and Leipzig, he had the best players in that league as well, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, they were the top side within that country. So, I mean, Leipzig were one of the better ones in Germany, but Salzburg were definitely the best side in that league. And he's come to England and he's in a struggling Premier League side. It just weren't, a match made at all.
There was the same players on that team with Marsh as well.
What's that?
When you see a player put on the Leeds jersey, anyone even now, you kind of get revved up and, you're excited to see such and such play. With Marsh, I wasn't one bit arsed. I have to throw that out there. I wasn't one bit, like with McKennie or Adams.
They're scared, man. They're scared.
As soon as I read that, I could hear it in my head. They're scared. I could hear it in my head. And then your man, whoever was in the background, it's your job not to make them scared. It's just like, yeah.
I've got to bring that. I've got to bring that up again though. That story I told you guys before, so you guys have heard it. People in chat might not have done, but I've got a mate who owns a TV company, and he's in charge. He does all the work at Thorpe Park. Does all the work at Ellen Road. He match days. Him and his lads are there. And any work that needs to be done, they're on standby. Obviously, after setting up the cameras and etc. and the alt TV system for Sky, and he's part of that team to make sure it runs smoothly on match day. But yeah, Thorpe Park, massive Bielsa fan. They also did Bielsa's house when he were there. They met Bielsa. They've sat down and had a cup of tea and some biscuits with Bielsa in his house where he was living in Wetherby, and absolutely just unbelievable that he got that close to the man. But when Marsh came in, he actually, as most people will know, Bielsa had like certain areas that he'd sort of like fine-tuned himself within the training facilities, and he'd put beds in pods so people could sleep throughout the day, a bit like you, Boss Nass, with your little siesta yesterday and probably today knowing you. But yeah, he'd like to get a bit of rest throughout day and then keep training later on. And that was a big belief and something that Bielsa brought to Leeds. Marsh came in and just ripped it all out, ripped all that part of Thorpe Park out and fitted it out with like a cinema room, right? And obviously my mate were happy for the work because he had to put in this whole new cinema system, but also it griped him because he sat with the god, knew what he thought about how he wanted Leeds to play, how he wanted them to relax and recharge the batteries, and that was massive, and he had to be there while they were ripping these beds out, and he had to install this equipment, and he hated it. He said he wishes he'd not got the job. But one of the funny parts of that story is they had like a long pull down projector board to take up these flights of stairs, and it was quite big, what tube, and they were struggling to get it up staircase, right? So there's my mate Matty and one of his apprentices trying to navigate this up the staircase. Next thing he hears someone go, "Don't worry, lads, I'll help you." And it's Stuart Dallas. This is a few years ago, obviously hobbling around, grabbing end of this, and he goes, "Stuart, what are you doing, man? Get off it! You're already bloody injured." And even Stuart Dallas helped him carry this screen up. What a class little story, to wear off one of my mates. Like, you just think
he seems like a GM, Stuart Dallas, doesn't he? Just a genuine.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious how Dallas, out of everybody who popped up, he pops up to sort of help him.
Yeah, so Matty, I know I was supposed to come in here with one question which was like recent. So I've just done one in my head because I don't want to, not fulfill the brief. So I'm going to chuck this to you guys, and then I'll listen to your answers, and then I'm going to crack on with the beers. But I'm interested to hear Onlyleedsbros and your answers to this.
Yep.
And it might just be my opinion, but why does it seem that Leeds United have to work 3 times as hard than any other club in any other league that we're in to score a goal? It just feels like we need 12 chances to score one. Where and what'll happen is another team will get one chance of similar quality. The stats probably won't back this up, but we've all watched it and seen it, and they'll slot it away. And it's always boggled my mind why we have to work so hard to get a win, when sometimes you watch other teams and you think they haven't worked too hard to get that, and they're coming home with a 3 point.
What I'll say to that, Boss Nass, is I think a massive part of it is we don't score set pieces. I think if we could score set pieces, those goals that you don't have to work too hard for, because it's just a little bit of a movement in box or something you've done in training, one cross into box, and so scrappy goals people scores, it goes in off someone's ass, a header, a deflection. We don't tend to shoot from outside the box, and we don't tend to score set pieces. So for me, that is probably the perfect answer to that question. I think when it comes to general play, and there's build up, might be slow, whatever you think, even when we're playing with tempo, we always look like we're dangerous and we can score from open play. But these scrappy goals don't come because of corners and headers from corners, crosses, stuff like that, mate. So I'd say set pieces is the big one for me, but I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. I do in a sense, and I think it would help. In fact, I'll put it to this actually. It feels to me a lot of the time Leeds are trying to score the perfect goal, and what I mean by that is I think we're guilty sometimes of being scared to really take on a shot, maybe outside on the 18-yard line. because of maybe, and I'm not saying it's Farke, because I've seen it for too long for it just to be Farke, because I don't know, because I don't think they're scared. It's just instead of taking that opportunity on, it's back out to the wing or into a centre midfielder to go out to the other side to a wing. It just feels to me that they always try and score like what would be a nailed-on goal instead of taking like random chances.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll throw it out there, Boss Nass. I feel, I don't know if you're familiar with the Leedsy way.
Yeah, of course I am.
It's we're such a passionate club with a passionate fan base, and I just think, you know, we kind of give ourselves a bit too much harsh. You know, we don't give enough credit due, because we've been hurt for the last whatever how many years, and maybe that's something to do with it. But no, I definitely hear what you mean. There's always that kind of end product. I just think there's certain players I'm gonna have to be careful what I say here. Certain players that aren't right for the team, and we're not there yet to get certain, you know. So that might have something to do with it. But yeah, it could be just a Leedsy way as well.
Yeah, it could, to be fair. It could. Right then, Boss Nass, I think we will move on. Thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Great points, and I hope you're frozen again. Are you still there? Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, everybody, check out Seasiders TV, massive Bridtown. I found his Boss Nass as well as Leeds United. Supports his local team, which is absolutely credit to him. Gets down there, watches them, and he's got a YouTube channel for them. I think he said yesterday they've got 81 subscribers, I think. So he's doing really well for a small town like Bridlington. So go give him some love. He's a top guy, Boss Nass, and we'll have him on again at some point. So get rid of him there. Yeah. Right then, we're going to bring back Danny.
All Leeds our way.
Oh, Leeds our
way.
Right, Danny.
Again.
Danny, I want you to run through your best, worst 11 after me and Boss Nass yesterday. I'm going to get you and Sean back on just to run through your best, worst 11, please.
Right, so goalkeepers were Chubka.
Yep.
Right back, Jason Crowe. Centre back of Lubomir Mikalik and Jason Pearce. Left back, Vernon Anita. Centre midfielder, Sean Gregan and Michael Tong. Wingers, left wing, Cameron Stewart. Right wing, Jimmy Kebby. Up front,
unreal.
Don't say Pearl, Danny.
Don't say Pearl.
I've got a choice of 3. Did Francis Jeffers ever play for us on loan?
He did actually.
He did, yeah.
He did.
Francis Jeffers and...
Francis Jeffers, my word.
Francis Jeffers.
It's got to be JKA, mate. It's got to be JKA. How can it not be?
Yeah, but I don't class him as a player. Shit.
Expensive shit, mate. Christ.
Yeah, I'll go JKA.
It's got to be, mate. It's got to be
JKA, yeah.
It's got to be. He's got to be the worst transfer in football history. 823 grand a minute, Danny. So he's got to be in there.
Man,
absolutely. But these other ones I could have put in, like Rodistan Kisishev, Lee Irwin.
Where's he pulling these?
You know what I mean? It's Sean Gregan,
Paul Green.
Oh, well,
Gideon Jojo.
Danny, I'm going to keep you on, mate. I'm going to add Sean to the screen as well, mate, while you're on there.
We all hate sword scum. We all hate sword scum.
Gillian Jojo, for fuck's sake.
Gillian Jojo. Do you remember him, lads?
Oh, jeez.
Michael Ricketts.
Oh, we've got Russell.
Michael Ricketts.
Yeah, let's.
He's back.
We'll just get him all in for crap. Right, shot.
This is like a this is like a dating show. Like they all come in, they say they're big, you put them back out, and then it comes back, and then it's just like pick which one you want. Do you want the sex machine, Russ? Do you want the swords? I was gonna say something. The swords, man, Sean.
Sean, give me.
Or do you want dazzling Danny, number C? Take your
Give
pick.
me your best worst 11 in the last 20 years.
Rubke, like everybody else has said, there was anybody close to him.
Vivald.
Oh,
Peacock Farrell.
Rubke was worse.
Yeah,
Rubke was worse.
no, Vivald though wasn't fired off. Definitely Rubke, but yeah, Vivald was very close as well. He was horrendous.
No, that's coming at night.
Uh,
The bell, Harry. Well, you're the one sat underneath us, Harry. That's all I'm saying. Go on, keep going, Sean.
Pierce at centre back.
Pierce.
Was it? If we're talking 20 years, 2004, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the year we went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, from 2004 up to now, Sean.
yeah.
2004 season.
Yeah.
Up to now. Yeah.
I still think Rocky Jr.
Yeah.
Rocky Jr.
We'll give you that.
Played
We'll give you
last
him.
season.
All right, you
We'll
can
give
have
you
him.
him. Yeah, we'll give you him.
The fullbacks. Oh, Jesus. Was it OD? OD?
Oh, dear. He would have sent it half on it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Just had him.
You've got your centre backs. You've got Jason Crowe, Eric Lehigh,
Oh,
Alan Sheehan.
There's so
Ah,
many.
Sheehan, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Even Lee
Al-
Peltier. Do you remember him for us as well?
Yeah, Lee Peltier, mate.
Oh, yeah.
So
He
many
captained
bad players.
some games.
Midfield. Michael
Love putting you on
Brown. Michael Brown.
We all dream.
Lord Michael Brown. Lord Michael Brown. Ah, that's bad. No, I'm not having that.
And
Remember Noel Hunt?
And Tong.
Yeah.
Tong, the two of them.
Tongue, yeah.
Song was shit, but I'll always remember him for that goal against Sheffield
Oh,
Wednesday. Do you remember that cracker?
yes.
That one they scored against Everton. That one they scored against Everton as well.
Look at this one. Sean, you've only been a Leeds fan for 2 years, mate.
Yes.
He probably has, knowing Sean. Sean.
What about manager, Sean? What
wingers.
about manager?
Probably Kebe.
Kebe, I'm right, yeah.
Kebe.
Kebe.
Managers, you really want me to say it? just piss off Joe and say fact. Just to piss off Joe. No, but the worst manager we've had is...
No chance.
For me, worst manager we've had is Dave Ockaday.
And the worst striker is... And the worst
Yeah,
striker
Ockaday.
is Jojo and Bamford.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Gillian,
mate, Jim Bamford.
Huh?
Gillian Joachim, lads. I remember him. Remember seeing
Michael
him in the
Ricketts.
pre-season.
Michael Ricketts.
He made my team after Boss Nass said he played 25 games for us
Oh,
with no
some bad
goals.
strikers.
It's shocking. But,
Noel Hunt.
yeah, but he would have worked.
No Hunt.
He was poor, wasn't he?
I'm just so
David
happy
Sommer.
to see him coming in because he was good. Do you remember he was banging goals in for Redden when we got him?
Shocking.
I was so excited to see Noel Hunt coming in. Horrendous he was.
Noel Hunt, Steve
Yeah,
Yeah,
Morris.
they
he's
were-
brilliant. He's brilliant for Reading. He's brilliant
So good for Redden he was, yeah.
David Sommer.
Like a graveyard. It's like
He was good, Danny, though.
graveyard
He
for
was
He was
good.
good. Just always
So
injured.
good,
Bamford
Danny.
2.0.
He wasn't that bad. Son wasn't that bad.
I think the worst manager is Darko Milinic was our worst manager. He only
Yeah,
lasted
he was.
32 games, if you remember that,
He was.
Russ. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember
Hockaday's a
that.
good
Steve
shout.
Evans.
Hockaday's a good shout,
Steve
but
Evans.
yeah, Steve.
Uwe Rosler.
All I want to say is,
His
guys,
birthday
right,
today, wasn't it?
what I'll say is, guys, right, we could be here all week and we'd still have names.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep tonight, lads. I am horrified.
Yeah, that video I put out yesterday, I ain't got much views. Go watch anyone.
I need to remember do you remember Rui Marquez as well? Do you remember him?
So bad.
He was alright. I rated him, but there were
Rui Marquez.
Paul Butler as well
Paul
at centre
Butler,
back.
Yeah, he was solid. I liked him.
I just want people to remember how bad things were. Like, so because let's be fair, as Leeds fans,
Thanks, mate. Yeah. PTSD
Yeah,
here.
Mate, I'm going down like such a dark road at the minute. Like pure.
It's funny, mate. It's funny. We used to laugh at the time, mate, because we were that bad. We used to laugh then. If we can't laugh now, what is wrong with us? So those aren't the days no more. But it's a decent conversation to be had, considering the meltdown we have with a 2-0 win away at Cardiff, a 0-0 draw against Bristol. We forget how bad we used to be. And I know our ceiling's now higher. We've been in Premier League, and I understand that. But sometimes people forget we're only talking 6, 7, 8 years ago. Some of these players, Lawrence de Bock was still in our books 3 seasons ago. It was still on our books. We forget that. So sometimes people take a reality check. You know what I mean?
What about that player that never played for us that only come off at books about 2 years ago? That Wassim boy.
Oh yeah. Forgot about it. He never played, did he? Never played, did he?
Yeah.
No.
What was the Japanese boy as well? That the Japanese boy that ended up at Celtic. We got him in. Do you remember there was trouble with his?
Shit.
Yeah, him.
Tommy took him out.
We're glad. Like we've had some really bad ones.
Darren, if we ever go on, if one of us ever goes on, I'm a celebrity, and not I'm a celebrity. Sorry, I want to be a millionaire. And I'm a celebrity. That will help me out. Who wants to be a millionaire? We need to hope. If a Leeds United question comes, we're not sure. We need to hope Russ and Danny are both in the same house.
Phone have friends.
Between them, these two know ball. Like, fuck, I'm a
the other one who was not very good for us was Mika Varanin.
Yeah, Varanin, yeah.
Morning.
And Pavel Sibicki.
I was going to say him, yeah, Pavel
Sibicki, yeah.
That wasn't even that long ago. That was that monk time around Gary Monk, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Gary Monk there, isn't he? Yeah.
Mika Varanin's last game for us was when we played Arsenal in the FA Cup. He played during the 2011-12 season.
Yeah, J-Rod Grot.
Yeah, J-Rod Grot. Funny, but honestly, absolutely hilarious. Hilarious, right? Well, I'm going to
Habibou. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I would say I brought him up last night. Habibou, right? Well, more famous YouTube video of I think it was a bird that came on pitch and it couldn't fly away, hurt his wing, and he picked the bird up and carried it off, and that got more YouTube hits than anything else.
Also, that one as well. I weren't there, but I remember people who told me who was there. Apparently, that got more cheers when he did that than when he actually touched the football. When he actually came on the
pitch. Right, guys. So we've been going for 1 hour and 22, and I'm going to wrap it up at that. And I just want to say, everyone in chat, we've had loads in chat today, people who's never been here before. So please go back and watch it if you just joined. Like, subscribe to my channel, Onlyleedsbros channel, and keep a lookout for Danny, Sean, Russ on any of the Leeds creators chat, because they are always in there.
They'll always be there, yeah.
Always supporting of any channel. So we love this community. We love doing this YouTube, since we've started it now, and it's going from strength to strength. There'll be many more shows like this. I think we've had 4 people in tonight who's come on and actually spoke, which is a brave thing to do, a great thing to do, and hopefully next time we'll get a few more. But thanks so much to Danny, Russ, Sean, and Boss Nass, who's all come on and spoke tonight. Absolutely love you to bits. Thanks so much.
I've got one question for you all.
Yep, go on.
And I'm going to see how many of you know your Leeds United knowledge. Who was the first black player to play in an FA Cup final?
Albert Johansson.
Yep, 1965.
Wow. Fair enough. Cheers, Peacock White.
My brain just went.
Wow. Right, lads. And on that note, I'm going to leave it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in.
Cheers, lads. Thanks for popping in.
Yourself, stay safe.
Cheers, lads. Cheers, Sean.
Subscribe to everybody.